Hello guys, welcome back to another Scratch tutorial. In this series, we're going to be making a sword fighting game in Scratch. To start, we need all the sprites and backdrops for this project that we have. So as you can see, there is a background sprite and a player sprite, as well as a backdrop right here that you can kind of see. What you can do is remix this project, sword fighting assets, or put the sprites and the backdrop in your backpack. Now that that's done, let's get coding. So as you can see, I've added all of these assets to my project now. So we're going to start by dragging out a one green flag clip flow. Then we're going to pull out go to x0, y0. This will make the player centered on this in the middle of the screen. Then we're going to broadcast a new message. We're going to name it Start Game Loop. This is going to start everything that happens in our game. When I receive message Start Game Loop, we're going to add a loop. This is the game loop, obviously. And once we have this, we're going to make another new message and name it Tick Player. This will make what the player needs to do happen every tick. So when I receive message Tick Player, we're going to make it go to the front layer. And we can also move this over here as well. Then we're going to make it point towards the mouse pointer. So let's test this out. So now the game loop is running. So it should also point towards the mouse pointer. And if I drag it away, it should go back, snap back to the center. Good. Now we need a way to stop this game loop. So what we're going to do is we're going to, when I receive a message, and we're going to make a new message, name it Stop. We're going to make a new message and name it Stop Game Loop. Pretty straightforward. And to do this, we are going to do stop, change this to other scripts in Sprite. This will stop all this script here, and this script here. So since the game loop is here, it will stop everything that's happening in the game when this message is broadcasted. Now, we need to make the player be able to move. So this is going to be a scrolling background game. So the background's going to move, but the player stays centered, which is why we have the go to x0, y0 block here in the tick player. So it always stays at the center of the screen. So what we're going to do is broadcast a new message. This one's for the background, and tick background. This way, the background can be coded so that every tick, the background will do something. Click into the background sprite. Now we're going to choose one green flag clicked. We're going to go to x0, y0 because we want it to start at the center of the screen, obviously. Then we're going to make sure the size is set to 100 right here. And then we're going to, when I receive tick background, so that under here is going to be what happens every tick for the background. I'm going to do if key W, this is going to make it go up. We're going to move 4 steps. Right now, what it's going to do is it's going to make me move 4 steps in the direction that the background is facing, which is 0. So if I try it, now the background will just move this way. That's not what we want. We want the background to move away from the way the mouse is pointing, because the player is focusing on the mouse. So if we want a scrolling background, we need to move away from the mouse. So what we're going to do is point in the same direction as the player. So point in direction, which will take a number input, and we're going to take out this of a sprite or backdrop, and player. Then we can choose direction of player. So this is a number, and we want the backdrop to point in that direction, but we want it to be moving away from the mouse. So what we're going to do is flip it around by adding minus 180 to the direction of the player. Now, when we try it, it should move in the direction away from the player if I press W. And as you can see, it works perfectly well. Now we just need to do this for every other direction, so we're going to do S for backwards, -4, so that'll move it the other way. Then we need D for going right, and A for going to the left. For D, we need to turn right 90 degrees, so it's going to the right and not forwards like W. Then, once it's like this, we don't want everything else to be going now 90 degrees off, so we turn it back, or left, 90 degrees. And we're going to do the same for A, because it's a negative, so it'll move in the other direction, so left. Now let's test this out. As you can see, the player is following the mouse pointer by looking at it. So we can tell the player seems to be going towards the mouse pointer, but in reality the background is just moving away from it. Now if we try going right, left, right, you can clearly see that we are moving to the left and to the right. And also, of course, backwards. So, now that we've done this, we need to initiate the player's size. So we're going to set the player size to 150. Okay, we forgot to do this earlier. Now the next thing we need to do is add collision, because as you can see now, the player just goes straight over the rocks, straight over the bushes, and off the entire map. But that's for another episode, so make sure to like and subscribe to see episode 2.